Welcome to the Joe Monroe Show. Now, here's your host, Joe Monroe.
Welcome to another episode of the Joe Monroe Show. And I'm your host, Joe Monroe. As you can see, I'm still not really with it today, so I apologize. But today we got a brand new episode of the Podcasters Appreciation Month. We actually have a very young podcast who's just been at it for a few months. But you know what? They're kicking some pretty serious ass from what I'm seeing. So, but with that being said, before we get into our special guest here, let's go ahead and shout out some sponsors real quick. First sponsor we always want to shout out is Phenomenal Funds ATL. If you're looking for anything retro, whether it be professional wrestling, vintage toys, clothes, anything like that, check out phenomenalfindsatl.com. We also like to thank our partners and our sponsors, Triple Crown Wrestling and Ultimate Championship Wrestling, as they are bringing back professional wrestling to the state of Kentucky as it should be, as well as Les Murphy Painting. If you're having any issues with any of your painting needs, please contact Les Murphy at 734-334-3702. Now, for my guest, like I said earlier, it is a very, very young podcast, but they're kicking some pretty serious ass here. So from over the top, let me introduce you all to Owen and Anthony. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having
What's
us,
up, everyone?
man.
Thank you for having us.
Hey, not a problem at all, guys. I honestly, when you all told me before we went live here that you were just doing this for 3 months, I was like, wow, okay. Yeah, you guys you're going to be great. So just keep up the hard work there. I'm thoroughly impressed with how you guys have grown so quickly. So keep it up.
Thank you,
but since it's been 3 months ago, this may be fresh on your memory. What got you guys started on the podcasting scene here?
You want that one?
I can say, yeah. So pretty much, we were playing. So we're seniors in high school. So we were outside playing basketball after school one day, and Anthony's just like, we both watch wrestling. Why don't we just start talking about it? Make a podcast. So I started working on a name. So I just found Over the Top Talk as an interesting name. He agreed with me. And we kind of started kickstarting. It started off pretty rough. We started using like a Discord like audio thing, and it just was terrible. So we switched to StreamYard. Worked very good for us. We were able to start getting into contact with many independent wrestlers, and we still have a whole schedule to this day of wrestlers, so it's been pretty good so far. I think we're up to like 1,700 on Instagram. So
Nice. That's quick growth right there. So are you guys friends in school, and that's what it kind of started off with?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
We actually went to school with each other since like second grade. And Owen actually went to a different school in about eighth grade, so we kind of lost contact for a while. And just last year at WrestleMania 39, he hit me up on Snapchat, and because I posted about Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens winning the Undisputed Tag Team Championships, and we kind of started talking from there, and it led us to just like becoming closer and closer, leading us to the podcast eventually. So that's really cool.
No, that is cool. So have you all been lifelong wrestling fans?
I've been a wrestling fan since about 2011, actually. What brought me in was CM Punk, the Summer of Punk. Heard about that when I was like 6 years old. I was like, oh my God, this guy is so cool. This guy's awesome. And I watched up until about 2018. And then I took a little bit of a break from, I think, right before the pandemic started. I took a little break. And then I started watching again with Cody's return. And yeah, it's awesome.
So for me, honestly, my uncle, like years ago, when it was the WWE like network app, we just used to watch like the Attitude Era. So that's the era he watched. So around like 2018, and then I started watching like the current product in 2018, kind of on and off for a little bit. started up again when Cody returned at Mania. That's when I really started, watching again. And from there, I've kind of just been watching it for like 2 years straight now. So.
All right, that's great. A good friend of mine, Party Man Kim, he's an independent wrestler around here. He says, hey, he thinks he's the Fonz. But dang it, I can't say it. I can't call him a weirdo. Oh, shoot. Sorry, Cam, I already said it. But sorry, guys. So did you guys watch AEW before Cody's return at WrestleMania?
I never really got into AEW. I knew Cody was in the independent circuit before that for a while. I was keeping track of that, and then I knew he helped found AEW, but I never really got into it really. I actually watched one match, Cody versus Dustin Rhodes. That was a good match in my
The
opinion.
Blood
But then,
Brothers match, that was an excellent match.
it was awesome, and I never really thought he would come back to WWE. I was like, it would be awesome, and then one day I heard about it, the news, and it just lit a spark, and then it really brought me back to watching it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. I don't really watch AEW, but when I just remember Seth Rollins was having like this secret opponent, and I'm like, I'm tuned into this, and then I saw it was Cody Rhodes. I've heard of the name, I've heard of the song, and then I'm like, oh, I kind of connected the dots, and he grew very popular. So I was like, wow, it's actually crazy.
So you guys have just recently got back into it. That's great, because I think there's been a new. Because I grew up in the Attitude Era. I'm showing my age here, so you guys are making me feel old. Thanks. I'm kidding. But there was that era with the Attitude Era. Then we went to the Ruthless Aggression era. Then we went to the stupid PG era, and then Punk happened. Then he left, and we went right back to the PG era. But right now, yeah, I think it's a golden age for professional wrestling again, hands down, especially in the WWE.
Yeah.
So I did see you guys, like you stated earlier, you were able to catch some interviews with a few independent wrestlers. Who all have you all interviewed so far?
Owen?
Just some names I can bring up. Bella Snow we've interviewed. This guy August Artois the other day. Kylie Harrison, she's like a younger wrestler. Another younger one. What's her name? Madison Morgan. All I can think of so far. We've gone through so many stories. I just forget the names, honestly.
Yeah, same thing for me. We have just piping them out. We've been going through so many interviews. We enjoy it so much. When we interview these people, we love to get to know their stories. We love to get to know what got them into wrestling, because we share that bond of loving professional wrestling, and just hearing their stories just brings a smile to our face.
Yeah, it definitely will, especially if you get the right people to tell the right stories, especially in the independent scene, man. It's great. Or even in a locker room setting where I used to wrestle. Oh my God, so many stories. But you guys are located in Boston, as you know. People can probably tell in the background. You guys are Celtics fans. Thank goodness, because I'm a Celtics fan myself. I don't want to say it. I'd probably get booted off the internet if I said I thought Larry Bird was just a tad bit better than Jordan. But hey, that's just me. Yeah, I'm not Celtics fan. I'm kidding. But you guys are in Boston. So is there any what independent wrestling promotions are around Boston that you guys know
of? Well, we actually don't really know a lot around here, because believe it or not, which is kind of funny, because we're from Boston, but all of the ones that we've hit up, and they're all international, all around the globe. We've done heard some in Denmark. We've heard some in Poland. We've heard some in England, Scotland, and all around the U.S. as well. We know there's some around here, comedy ones, which are kind of funny, bringing comedy to wrestling, but we don't really know any of the serious independent circuit. So we're probably going to start getting into that soon, trying to get local guys on.
Yeah, I'll pitch in as well. I don't know promotion's really good, like Anthony said, but my uncle used to do, or still does, I guess, ring announcing for, promotions all across Boston. I think there's one like next Friday. Don't think I can make it to that one, but yeah, he's um he's kind of all around. I don't really know the promotions, but it's kind of cool that I know someone that does like the ring announcing part of it.
Well, at least you got a foothold in the door there, man. I mean, that's
Yeah,
more than what some people can say. And that is actually pretty cool. Usually it's vice versa. A lot of people will start off like locally first, then they'll get the internationals. But you guys completely flipped the script there and went international
Yeah.
first. So do you all know any good independent international wrestling promotions? You guys may have to steal that from Joe Panther the Third, internationally known now. So sorry, Joe. I'm kidding. But what's some independent wrestling promotions that you guys can remember that you were able to interview internationally? Wrestlers from those promotions, I should say.
Well, obviously the NWA, we've had a lot of wrestlers in that. For example, August Artois, people from Poland, people from Scotland, they've all dabbled around in that. There's been some, the guy actually from Poland actually is located in Chicago now, and he does this independent circuit in Chicago, which is really cool. The Denmark one is really awesome as well. We've actually interviewed one dude that was actually local to us. He lives in Connecticut, and he actually comes down here to Mass to wrestle, which I think that can allow us to maybe begin like you said, we flipped the whole script. That can kind of cause us to maybe dabble around and begin our local journey, looking for some independent circuits around here. So hopefully we'll be doing that within the next couple of months.
yeah, I know. Tomorrow, well, I guess I was still in the sport. We got this girl, JC Love. She comes from a woman of wrestling promotion. Actually, she's been in a lot of like NWA, AEW, WWE. She's actually been on a lot of promotions, but that's probably going to be a cool interview to do.
No, that is really cool. And yeah, definitely from someone who's worked like wrestled beforehand. Yeah, you guys getting internationally known for first does help you out. So you guys are way on the right track. So just, like I said before, keep it up. I think you guys are going to be great. But what do you, speaking of being great, what would you all, what's kind of like the 5-year plan, or what do you want for the future of Over the Top Talk?
Well, with any plan, really, we want to make this like a living, possibly. We want to be able to get to talk to bigger people. We want to be able to interview stars from WWE, from AEW, from New Japan, from TNA, from all that stuff. We want to get big interviews going, and possibly even like traveling around and interviewing like people at their shows and stuff. We want to collect merchandise from all these wrestlers, and we want to like build a foundation where like people can just come and have fun with us and just hang out and just feel comfortable to show their love and passion for wrestling. And once we hit that mark, I think that's going to be a big accomplishment for us.
Yeah, I'll pitch in here. We want to, I'd say, collab with as many like WWE like creators as we can. Kind of like you guys, we've been on other shows before. Like Anthony said, interview some, WWE would be like the highest probably accomplishment for us. The hardest part I think about that is they're kind of wary with who they're wary with like putting wrestlers on, podcasts besides like their own like in company podcast, so it's a little bit harder. But yeah, if we could get somebody from WWE, it'd be pretty cool to like interview them.
And like I said, you guys are really, really young. You've got a bright future ahead of you. So, that could be a reality in like 2 years. So you never know. if you guys keep working hard like you guys have been, I can see that happening easy 2 years for you all. So,
Thank you, man.
I keep muting myself. I don't know why. Sorry, guys. But did you guys say you just graduated high school or are graduating?
Oh, we're gonna graduate. We're in senior
This
year right now.
we will be.
Okay. So have you guys thought about going
Like
to
6
school?
weeks left or something like that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I kind of missed those last as a senior. I missed those last 6 weeks are probably the best, especially after everything's done, test wise. But with everything coming around, you guys are literally about to explore your own life here pretty soon. Have you guys thought about going to school to kind of get more in tune with like podcasting stuff like that? For example, like Full Sail University, things like that, or
I'm going to college to get a business degree, minoring in finance. I'm think I'm gonna try to make podcasting kind of something I do like on the side, like do like an actual like real job, and then do podcasts on the side for like maybe a little bit of extra money if that comes to us one day. So
awesome. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm gonna go to school as well. Go to college. I actually haven't thought about what I want to do for my college yet, but that's why I'm gonna go to Massasoit for 2 years. But I'm thinking about we're kind of like thinking about doing a film program, which would be really cool. I want to get better at camera technology, working with my computers. My grandfather actually is an IT director. He works on computers for a living. So maybe if I can follow in his footsteps and I can like maybe make my own website or something, which would be cool for podcasting. So I'll try that out eventually.
well, no, definitely, and that will both professions you guys want to go into would definitely help out with this. Even though when you did say you want to do this on the side business, trust me, this is business, as you guys probably know. But you all wanted to talk about what is today's Monday, so tonight is Monday Night Raw. I know Owen, you brought this up. You guys are pretty excited about it. We know Rhea Ripley just unfortunately had to relinquish and vacate the women's world title. And who all is in the battle royal? I'm not really sure who's all in it. Sorry, I know Liv Morgan obviously.
I was looking at it earlier. So it's Becky Lynch, Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark, Natalya, Tegan Fox, Ivy Nile, Maxine Dupree, Katana Chance, Kaden Carter, Nia Jax, Liv Morgan, Piper Niven, Chelsea Green, and Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae.
Jeez, they got a mini Royal Rumble happening here. Okay.
Yeah.
That could be Raw and Good night, Irene. So who do you all want to pick here? Who's your pick?
Well, me and Owen actually have this prediction that we're thinking that Alexa Bliss might make her return tonight during the Battle Royale. And I think maybe her winning the title is a possibility, but also maybe starting a feud between her and Liv Morgan would be awesome if one of them won the title, so we might see that go on. But I think both of our options are either Liv Morgan or possible a returning Alexa Bliss.
Now that would be interesting considering all the Uncle Howdy teases we've been getting lately. So that would be interesting to see Alexa Bliss come back early.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Or she could be the one to kind of set it off and then go from there. Because that's my prediction. I was like, if Alexa Bliss comes back soon, especially, did you all watch the Bray Wyatt documentary on Peacock?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I watched that.
Did you all? So what did you guys think about that?
I thought it was phenomenal. I thought it was incredible. I actually got emotional during it.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, hearing some of the, especially his bro, like it's just hearing the family, like just barely being able to like do those interviews is just like awful.
And seeing Bo Dallas, well, him as Uncle Howdy, like hovering over Bray Wyatt's creations, I think that is kind of like hinting at a possible return. And obviously the the little QR codes popping up all over SmackDown and Raw. Yeah, I can't wait for this. I think we can probably see him returning within the next couple of months, hopefully.
Oh yeah,
The
I think it'll be a slow
only
build. Go ahead, Owen. Sorry.
I've been saying the only like risky part is like I feel like if you bring back if you bring Uncle Howdy, to commemorate for Bray Wyatt, I feel like you have to perfect it, or like the fans are just gonna like totally destroy it. So I feel like they need to make sure this is like really good and not like fail at the character at all.
I think if we was under the Vince McMahon banner, people would be more. I don't know about that, but now we're in the Paul Levesque era. Where him and Wyndham worked so close together, and where he's actually on the creative side. Look what all that's happened whenever he took over, just in the past few months, creatively. So I don't think we got anything to worry about with that. The only thing that worries me is. A buddy of mine brought this up. He goes, so we've seen the new Fiend. We've seen the new look. It looks great. And he asked me, he goes, do you think somebody would try to replace, Bray as the Fiend? I was like, if they're smart, no. But you never know. I was like, honestly, what I would love to see I think we'll end up getting the Wyatt 6, which is originally what they wanted to do. They wanted to have the 6, and I think that's what's going to end up happening, but I think we're going to see some old characters, but we're also going to see some new characters at the same time.
Yeah. That would be cool.
Which actually leads me to a question we had the other day. Who would you see? Because I know Rowan is probably definitely coming back. I mean, he's canceled independent shows everywhere.
Yeah.
And Braun Strowman, he's still signed, right? I know he's not really anything. Strowman's still there. You got Bliss coming back. You got Bo Dallas definitely coming back, especially after the documentary. So who would be the other two that you all would like to see to complete the 6?
Well,
I'll just run this. For one, because I feel like with the Wyatt 6, with Alexa Bliss, I feel like they need another female, and I feel like just putting Liv Morgan, especially with her being like a heel, I would throw her in that just to add another female to that, Wyatt 6. For the other person, I honestly have no idea.
I actually am gonna take on to that. I think it's gonna be 2 other females. I think it's going to be the witches. I think it's going to be Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. I think putting them in the Wyatt 6 would be incredible. We would have that. I think that could lead to a bunch of creative standpoints that could be landmarks for the company. We haven't really seen a faction that is equally men and women, and seeing them work together, what would be, I think that'd be very interesting.
No, that would be interesting. I never thought of that. I was thinking possibly I'd like to see one that I would like would be because he reminds me of Mercy the Buzzard, Dexter Loomis, because of how stalkish he can be.
I forgot about him. Oh my god.
Yeah, Dexter Loomis would be good. And who's that guy in NXT that Spears attacked with a chair? What's that guy's name? He's like a cult leader.
Joe Gacy.
Gacy, yeah, I think he would be great in that too.
The upside down smiley face, yeah.
Yeah, which in all honesty, they could make the Wyatt 6 into they could make it a huge thing, probably as big as the Bloodline if they wanted to.
Yeah.
That would actually be kind of interesting to see that faction go up against, because Jacob Fatu is rumored to be debuting this week. Fingers crossed.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Have you watched any of his MLW stuff?
I've seen a bunch of clips on Instagram of it.
Yeah, I've seen clips.
He looks really good.
Dude, he's really good. Him and Umaga-san, they've recently been tag teaming. That's another person I'd like to see in WWE. But just imagine kind of like that faction, if everybody was able to come together and you wouldn't do it right now, of course, but either have the Wyatts versus the Bloodline, or the Wyatt 6 or 8, whatever you want to do it, versus the Bloodline, That would be kind of interesting because you would have a main faction on Raw, which I guess you can kind of say is still the Judgment Day.
Mm-hmm.
But I think once Howdy and everything comes back, we'll start. I think we're about to see the Judgment Day run its course, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been saying that since
Me too.
actually last week. You know, how Priest didn't really jump or help them jump Jey Uso. He kind of, and plus Finn Balor was like, you know, mad that he didn't come out earlier. So I think we're already starting to see the implosion.
Mm-hmm.
Which it's ran its course anyways. It was great while it lasted. So, and with Rhea being out, I hate to say it like this, but it's probably a good thing she's out if they go ahead and just break him up.
Yeah.
Because Finn's contract is up. Honestly, I think he's just going to resign.
Yeah.
No brainer, especially who's in creative control. Dominic, that guy's not going anywhere. He'll have a good. I think he'll have a good mid card run, kind of like what Eddie did in the mid 2000s. I can see that for him because he's such a good heel.
Yeah.
And then McDonough. I'm just not a big JD as a fellow Irishman. As a fellow Irishman, I can't stand JD.
Yeah.
I'll
give him there. You know, I'll give him this. He can sell out of his mind. He can sell people's moves phenomenally. I'll give him that. But you're right. From storyline perspective, he's not great. He's not.
When
great.
When I seen him in there, I was like, okay, I get it. He can be Balor's lackey.
Yeah.
But is this just a bump guy? Oh, he's just a bump guy. That's what we call in the business, a bump guy. He's just like a body. He's just there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he'll sadly get pushed back down to NXT.
Mm-hmm. Actually, speaking about NXT, do you mind if we talk about NXT for a second?
Go for it.
About Tuesday night spring break-in. I was thinking about Ilya Dragunov versus Trick Williams, and I think it's finally time to see Ilya drop his title because he's declared for the draft. I think we're going to see him finally get a call up to the main roster. And me and Owen were actually talking about this last week on the podcast. We were talking about how we're a little bit nervous that Ilya Dragunov might get lost in the mid card because obviously the main roster is so stacked right now.
You know, I think what they'll end up doing, because I watched him in the independent scene coming up, like with him coming up with Walter and stuff like that. It's hard to say, man, because with we're in the Paul Levesque era again. You know, NXT was his baby, but I agree with you. There is a stat card. I can see him starting off. He'll go like to the mid card, like right in the middle, then build it, kind of like what Priest did. Start in the middle of the mid card, then work his way up. Because I think honestly, who would be next in line for either the WWE Championship? Thank God they took Universal off. That always got my nerves. But either the WWE Championship or the World Heavyweight title, I think Walter's next in line.
Yeah,
as the heel champion, he's next in line.
Yeah, he's just far too dominant to not. Once he wins that title, do you think it's gonna happen like relatively soon?
No, here's why. I think what would end up happening. I think Cody's going to be a champion for a long time because, sorry, my son's autistic, and if you hear him in the background, I apologize. But he, I think with Cody as big of a workhorse as he is, he'll keep it at least SummerSlam. Then whoever he versus at SummerSlam, even if it isn't The Rock, The Rock's going to pull a screw job on him, and then we'll have Cody and Rock.
Yeah,
especially with the. I'm assuming he's going to get a new title very soon. Usually when that happens, they usually hold the title for a decent bit of time.
I wouldn't mind seeing a lengthy Cody title run. I think people are already saying that they're already tired of his title run, but it's only been like 10 days. Like you got to let it brew a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think Cody's title run. I don't get that either. But sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. I'll come to Cody's defense on that. I was like, hang on, he made the TNT title now. Stop it. Let him have the WWE Championship.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
The only reason I don't know why people. I mean, he's literally since he's had the title. I don't even know how long. It's been like 2 weeks. He's literally been in at like every live event. He's been on Raw and SmackDown. Like he's literally like everywhere with that title.
Which is why I think they wanted him. Well, I think the
this is
World
bugging
Heavyweight
out a
title
little
would have
bit.
been. No, you good, Anthony?
Did we lose him?
Did we lose him? I think that we lost him. He can come in and come back out unless his internet must have went out on him. Not the first time that's happened in an interview like this. We had. Do you guys know who the wrestling T-shirt guy is? Hello. Okay. Here's Anthony back. Sorry about that, Anthony.
Oh, no problem. My thing was bugging out real quick. I don't know what happened.
No, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I was like, what we were saying is, yeah, Cody, he'll hold it to at least SummerSlam. I'm calling it.
Yeah. I could see him honestly holding it for a little bit longer than that. Personally, I think if Cody holds it until around like this, be a very long time. Like I know they're going away with lengthy title reigns, but I could see him possibly holding it until Survivor Series.
Now that could be something interesting too, because a lot of people are teasing with Survivor Series, especially if we do War Games again, would be Bloodline versus Bloodline.
Yeah.
So that would be interesting.
Yeah.
But I think either way, before the next Mania, Rock's going to screw Cody out of the title, and then we'll have Rock and Cody at 41.
Yeah. Definitely.
I don't know where Roman went.
And we're gonna have a returning Roman Reigns.
We'll have
I
Roman.
think he lagged out.
Let's see. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, but the returning Roman Reigns.
Mhm.
I could see Roman possibly returning at like, I don't know if it'd be at SummerSlam because he's out indefinitely, but I could see him getting drafted to Raw, and possibly with Jimmy getting drafted to Raw as well because he's being terrorized by the Bloodline, so
Mhm.
he can't go back there right now. So if we have Roman Reigns get drafted to Raw with Jimmy and they like make up with Jay, they could possibly rebuild their own little Bloodline faction. And do you think Jacob Fatu is going to be a face and help them out?
Heel. If they're smart,
Heel.
Jacob Fatu as a heel draws money.
Yeah.
He was in a faction called Contra Unit in MLW.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, you thought people was thinking, oh, Tama Tonga is a savage. Wait till Jacob gets there. Just wait.
Yeah.
Oh no,
I can't wait to see him in action. I can't wait to see him.
Yeah. Crander Q has arrived. Yes, hello, Crander. He's head of Friends of the Squared Circle. Hello, Crander. How are you? He's the one that made the lovely background that you're seeing back here and made some other graphics. So thank you again, Crander. And made the I'll send it to you guys.
Awesome.
And, I'll send the picture of what he made to make me feel a little bit better today, a little bit higher spirits. But you know, I think
awesome.
WWE right now, they're dominating. But you know, Swerve Strickland did win the AEW title. That kind of shocked me. But I think I think if Tony can lay off the Colombian Bam Bam for a little bit, he'll be all right. That's just me. But you know, so one thing I like to ask before we end, I was hoping Owen would get back on here before we ended here. He probably said, "The heck with you, Joe. I'm watching Raw."
Yeah.
I'm kidding. But with everything going on, especially with you guys just starting, what's a piece of advice if someone's wanting to start, like, it don't have to be a podcast. It can be just something they're chasing after right now. What's a piece of advice that you would give?
I would say just follow your dreams. Don't let people saying, "Oh, the podcast world is too full right now. Oh, if you make it, you'll never make it. You never do this." You need to, you need to continue on your journey. You can't let anybody push you back, hold you back. Like me and Owen had our concerns at the beginning. We were like, "Oh, we're not gonna make it. Things are gonna be rough." Because, like he said, we started off with a Discord bot. Started off recording with some like little fake audio thing that was bugging out all the time. But then we got introduced to StreamYard, and that like changed everything for us. And we got interviews with people, and now we're just like rapidly growing. So like, never give up on yourself. Always like continue on with your passion, and don't let people bring you down. Like, don't let negative feedback cause you to give up or anything like that.
Right. No, that's some great advice, man. Especially, man, you're pretty wise for a young age, man. That's pretty wise. But this is if. Oh yes, and if you need any help, Crander's like Joe Panther. If you need any help, just reach out to him from Friends of the Squared Circle. He'll be more than happy to help you. Just
you.
don't say he has the number one beard. I have the number one beard. I'm kidding, Crander.
I'll keep that in mind.
All right, but with that being said, man, it was an honor to have you on. It was an honor to have Owen on. I know it's Monday Night Raw. We're all anxious to see it. So we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Folks, thank you for joining. We won't have another episode until the 26th. So we get a little bit of a break here at the Joe Monroe Show, but Wednesday will be the recap from this past Saturday's show when TCW and UCW was in Monticello, Kentucky at the Aspire Center. So be on the lookout for that. But with that being said, stay safe and always, always, always support professional wrestling. We are out.
You've been listening to the Joe Monroe Show with Joe Monroe. Don't forget to like and subscribe.